Hello guys, and welcome to a brand new video talking about the new PS4. Yes, the PS4 4K, 4.5, but apparently the code name is actually Neo. For some reason Sony have this weird thing about Matrix, because the VR was called Project Morpheus. Morpheus is in the Matrix, and now it's just called Neo. Neo's from the Matrix. I love the Matrix. I like what they're doing. Good idea. But anyway, this whole new PS4 is about trying to produce 4K gameplay for you guys to watch on your 4K screens. 4K is getting bigger and bigger every year. The price is coming down, and Sony are like, we want this. We want 4K games. We want the future. The future's coming. And apparently, the current PS4 cannot cope with 4K in any way. So basically, this console's coming out to sort of fill that void. Also, before we continue, this is obviously still a rumor. But this is Giant Bomb. They are really good at getting the facts right. They're not some sort of like sidey, shitty press website. Giant Bomb are the bomb, literally. So this is pretty much almost 100%. I'm gonna be honest, it's almost 100%. There will be a new PS4 coming out soon. Whether Neo's the name of it, probably not. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Right, so let's compare the old one to the new PS4, the Neo. So the old one had an 8-core Jaguar Core processor, 1.6 gigahertz. The new one has 8-core Jaguar Core, 2.1 gigahertz. So it's a pretty big improvement. I'd say that over the 8 cores as well. That's pretty dramatic in terms of CPU performance, I would say. And let's talk about the GPU. Obviously, this will be essential to getting that 4K performance. AMD, the original one was 18 CUs and 800 megahertz. The new one is 36 CUs and 911 megahertz. So that's a pretty big improvement again. I mean, it's not like, again, it's not dramatic, but it's a decent jump. So in terms of the RAM and memory, it's the same amount of memory. So it's 8 gigabytes DDR5 memory, but a slight improvement on the speed. So 176 gigabytes a second has now gone up to 218 gigabytes a second. So that is a pretty, again, a small jump, but still a decent enough jump. So what does this actually mean in terms of what you guys get from this console? It could mean high fidelity in terms of like better textures, better graphics, could mean better FPS, and also a better resolution. And all those are pretty essential to that sort of gaming experience. So that is pretty exciting. So how does this work when the games come out? Say, for example, Uncharted. What happens when that game comes out? So basically the game comes out as normal, comes through like a normal disc, or you can download it. But also you get the option for a Neo edition, a Neo mode edition for that game, which offers high fidelity, perhaps a better FPS, a better resolution, and yeah, that's basically what they're going for. But Sony is determined to make this a stopping gap, an upgrade, not an essential upgrade at all, but an upgrade that you guys can get if you want to. I think this is probably linked more towards VR. VR is very demanding on the consoles or the PC, and I reckon the old PS4 struggled a little bit perhaps with performance, and I reckon that's probably linked a little bit maybe. I don't know. Also, in terms of Sony, they've said, we do not want there to be some sort of exclusive unlocks on this Neo version. Not at all. It's the same version. Again, just better fidelity, better FPS perhaps, better resolution. That is it. That's all they're going for. And apparently it's going to be exactly the same in terms of like the store, the sort of layout of the HUD, and everything's going to be the same. It's going to be exactly the same. Probably the same controller, maybe a slightly smaller looking console perhaps, or a different colour, a special gold edition, I don't know. So apparently from October, there will be this Neo edition and this normal base model edition coming from October this year, which is very, very exciting. So every new game that comes out on PS4 will include the Neo edition and also the standard edition of the game. So I guess you just get the box copy. It's still one disc, but obviously it's got perhaps more potential for the Neo console. And yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting, like, I don't know how it's going to work out, but for those people that are like hardcore into their fidelity, the high graphics, it's exciting. But again, it's another $400 on another console. I really like Giant Bomb's look at Fallout 4, saying Fallout 4 is perfect for this Neo edition, and I agree, 100%. I would love to see Fallout 4 updated, better graphics on the console, run nice and smooth. Have to agree, because Fallout 4 is obviously an awesome game, but on the consoles, it really struggles. I do have one question though. One question, will you guys be interested in this console, this new console, the new improved spec? Let me know, I'd love to know your feedback. And also, where does the Xbox One sit? The Xbox One will be so lacking in performance now. How does that work with like multi-platform games? Because Xbox One will be so much lower than that Neo console. I don't know. Also, the NX comes out, hopefully, in terms of like spec between the PS4 and the Neo. Somewhere in between there, I'd reckon. So where does that leave the Xbox One? There's so many questions. I don't know. It's crazy. So the price hasn't been announced yet or leaked or whatever you want to call it, but roughly around $400, which is probably like $350 in terms of like UK pounds or euros. And that sounds quite a lot to me. I'm gonna be honest. It sounds quite expensive. It's a decent upgrade, but nothing like, oh my god, my brain melts. It's so powerful. It's powerful for a console, that's for sure, but it's not a massive jump. It's just a little dial up, I guess. A little tiny improvement. Also, what does this console ship with in terms of like hard drive space? I would like to see 2 TB at least, honestly. I think 1 TB won't cut it. I mean, 4K will demand so much hard drive space. We need loads and loads of space. Also, I'd love to see the back end improved because I reckon 4K would be quite demanding on like download speeds and stuff like that. So I want to see Sony improve their download speeds for games and that sort of stuff, because at the moment the download speeds are pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest. It takes a while to download stuff. So improve that, because 4K is going to be so heavy on space. It's gonna be crazy. Right, so let's talk about 4K for a little bit in terms of this console. It doesn't mean native 4K, it means generally just 4K. So it could be upscaled to your TV if you have like a 4K TV. 4K is very impressive, by the way. It's now 1080p times by 4 on your screen. So it's fidelity and sharpness is top notch, and 4K is really the future of like your monitors, your TV screens. So I like the move, but I could have waited like the next console, perhaps the PS4, the PS5 or something. I feel like this is like a stopgap and perhaps not fully essential. But perhaps for VR and the oncoming 4K onslaught, this console might be for you. I don't fully agree with this console. I'm still probably going to buy it because obviously I do YouTube and that sort of stuff, and I do like 4K. I've used 4K for a while, and it is very impressive. And if you can get 4K on a big screen or smaller screen or a monitor, it does look really good. Have to admit that. But the price of it is probably a tiny bit too high. The improvements aren't dramatic, but Sony have made the player base stay as one. So the PS4 owners will play them together. It's not like exclusive games or exclusive unlocks on this Neo console, which is great. I love that. I do not like Nintendo, for example. The new 3DS. Oh, there's going to be exclusive games for this console. There's been one game for that console. I mean, what? You can't do that. Nintendo's like, oh yeah, that went wrong. Oops, and just run away. It's like, okay, that's not how business works. You have to trust your customers. You have to treasure your customers. And Nintendo sort of kicked people in the balls and said, oh yeah, buy this new console. There'll be new exclusive games for it, and they never came. So yeah, I'm glad Sony's going about this as in terms of there'll be a PS4 version and a PS4 Neo version. So that's good. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I tried my best to explain everything, but basically this console is for 4K, VR, it's got better specs, of course, as you guys already know, slightly higher price. How will it look? Will it be the same controller? I imagine it probably will. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave your comments below. And are you guys excited for this PlayStation Neo Edition 4K 4.5 PlayStation? Let me know.